Limba noastră e o comoară, în adâncuri înfundată, un șirac de piatră rară, pe moșie revărsată. Limba noastră foc ce arde, într-un neam ce fără veste s-a trezit din somn de moarte ca viteazul din poveste. Limba noastră-i frunză verde, zbuciumul din codrii veșnici, nistrulind din valuri pierde ai pluceferilor sfeșnici. Limba noastră, limbă sfântă, limba vechilor cazanii, care o plâng și care o cântă pe la vatra lor țăranii. Răsăriva o comoară, în adâncuri înfundată, un șirac de piatră rară, pe moșie revărsată. Mersi.
Thank you. And now let me invite the ambassador, permanent representative of the Republic of Moldova to the United Nations, His Excellency Vlad Lupan, to officially open the third Moldovan-American Convention. It's okay here, or you want to?
Dear participants to the third Moldovan-American Convention, welcome to New York and welcome to United Nations. And since this is an event about the Republic of Moldova, I will also say, La mulți ani și bine ați venit. Dear connationals, the Republic of Moldova will be 25 years old this year. Since we are in the building of the United Nations, I will bring to your attention a less known fact that soon, on March the 2nd, the Republic of Moldova will also celebrate 24 years of its membership in the United Nations. Or simply put, 24 years since the universal recognition of its independence. The less known fact that I refer to is that the very same day, on the March 2nd of 1992, was also the day the Transnistrian conflict started in the Republic of Moldova. Some of the states, even up today, cannot enter the United Nations with foreign troops on its territory. We slipped through the fingers. That was, I believe, difficult to call a coincidence. These 24 years, therefore, are not a moment to celebrate our UN membership or international recognition. It is the time to reflect what happened. Since from the moment of our independence till today, our state is undergoing a continuously painful transition, and to seriously think what is ahead of us. All those past years seem to have indicated to the following assertions. The country did not have a sufficiently educated elite capable of governing the country efficiently at the moment of its independence and even later. The unfortunately small and narrow interests prevailed over the quality of governance and responsibility to its citizens. The country also did not have any natural resources to rely on for improving its independent economic status if it had qualified professionals to use them wisely. It did not pay enough attention to its energy independence. It unfortunately did not use its full capacity in what we can call an intellectual industry, the IT and high tech. It could not build a stable and profitable local, and needless to say, international important financial market. The only resource that our country had and actually continues to have is its people, you. Moreover, unfortunately, both because of the above-mentioned factors, as well as objective labor market limitations, it could not incorporate its countryside active population, post-Soviet positive technical and humanitarian expertise from urban areas, as well as the new post-independence, Western-educated professionals in its national and business institutions, being an uncompetitive labor market. People left. You left. The new generations, education faltered in absence of their teachers and investments in quality education. The culture of approximate laws, salaries in the envelope, outside taxation system, and living by concepts, ponятия, discouraged the rule of law and efficient governance. We know from our friends and colleagues back at home that many of them believe that small-level corruption is acceptable. While when we go into a deeper analysis with them, a large number of our interlocutors probably would say to you and believe that small corruption is actually also necessary for their own survival. The mentality, this type of mentality, is not exactly new, and blaming on one government or another is a gross mistake. Blaming any governments for what people think or for one thinks is at least naive. Creating the necessary atmosphere and education for the people to depart from such mentality, however, is the responsibility and was the responsibility of our governments. That is why, in consequence, the external factor remained important in our circumstances due to internal limitations. Hence, the implementation of the European acquis communautaire, the set of rules of the European Union, was supposed to remedy these endemic problems. The key word here is implementation. Superficial reforms in such cases do not count. As a diplomat, I have heard that presumably an international relation theorist once said that countries without natural resources must at least invest in a professional diplomacy. I would dare to say that despite the fact that underfunded and human resources crippled Moldovan diplomacy indeed managed to achieve at least some successes, becoming one of the drivers for effective governance. Such professionals, however, were in small numbers and without significant decision-making impact. Therefore, the combination of domestic good governance, active civil society, performance-grounded foreign assistance, and the use of an independent diaspora know-how, a visibly more active civic attitude of our citizens abroad, and practical skills and knowledge acquired mainly in developed countries, such as the US, for example, or Canada, are the bedstones for the future development of the Republic of Moldova. Speaking of economy first, I will bring a couple of examples regarding the three main branches of income and contribution to our GDP in the Republic of Moldova. The industry, agriculture, and services. The last prevails. The services prevail in the Republic of Moldova. According to 2012 data, almost 64% of the contribution to the GDP was services. Industry was only 20%, and the agriculture, for which we were famous, around 16%. I would like to bring to your attention two facts. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to divide things on GDP input. So here you will have two facts, two interesting facts that you will have the opportunity to reflect on. In developing countries, agriculture employs about 20% of the population. Back at home, the countryside population accounted for about 60% of all Republic of Moldova inhabitants. 20% in countries such as United States are working at farms. 60% in the Republic of Moldova. And the second interesting fact is that the Republic of Moldova occupies today the 5th place in the world by remittances per capita. We were number 1 several years ago, together with Tajikistan and several other countries. So we are one of the countries that sends a lot of money home. These remittances amount to about 30% of our GDP. What it means, this means that we sustain our elderly and often unemployed younger population at the countryside due to the lack of proper implementable, I underline this word, as I said, implementation is very important, implementable policies of urban and rural economic development, as well as other factors such as affordable banking loans opportunities, for example, foreign direct investments, if we are speaking about this from the United States, etc., etc. And there was, and can mainly be, high-risk related foreign direct investment in the Republic of Moldova due to the hazard of the judicial system perceived as untrustworthy. While the diaspora is observing these critical developments, one should, of course, remember that the distance is also an opportunity to see things more clearly and in perspective. We should not be blinded by anyone's negativism and remember that for example, FDI has been done through the recent years in belts and in Ungheni economic zones. Some facilities have opened in Chisinau economic free zone. The Republic of Moldova registered one of the biggest economic growth in the region for 3 consecutive years. Even the freedom of the media ranking became about 1 place higher in the Republic of Moldova. Sometimes people say that's too high because there is too much of a diversity in the media today in the Republic of Moldova. Particularly the countryside people who have worked with some of the people I know in the Moldovan TV said, you're giving us too much. We cannot distinguish what is the truth and what's not. But we are moving there. So what does it tell? It tells that, for example, the tax on IT development is long lifted and the civil society is supported by our external partners. The conclusion is that under the right conditions, under the right circumstances, the development in independent project implementation is, after all, possible in the Republic of Moldova, and it did happen. Since we are at the United Nations, I would like to mention how the UN can contribute to our needs. Since the UN has the necessary expertise in the rule of law field, some initial projects in cooperation with the European Union started to be implemented in the Republic of Moldova, since the rule of law provides the last line of defense for any person or investor, be it domestic or foreign. I have requested the UN Group of Friends of the Rule of Law to include the Republic of Moldova in its ranks, and I stand ready to request the help of these countries in our judicial reform. At the same time, the UNDP was requested to join the EU-Moldova project and help in monitoring our courts and judges. I have done such monitoring myself while working for another international organization, and I can attest to its effectiveness at the initial stage of a judicial reform. However, any such reform has to be followed by the non-interference of politics in the judicial system, its independence, prosecution and trial of those guilty of embezzlements, or any other misdeeds. The courts should indeed be professional, and appropriate financial coverage should be ensured to judges and law enforcement. However, there is a prerequisite for that. One more factor that often remains unnamed in the Republic of Moldova: a strict oversight by a reliable anti-corruption entity is necessary to implement such reforms as well. Without it, you can raise the salaries of anyone, and it will not preclude the corruption activities. Therefore, a strict oversight by a reliable anti-corruption entity is a must. Speaking about what UN can do, we have managed to ensure that the Republic of Moldova was elected as of January 2016 as a member of the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations and can use its expertise as well as support that can be drawn from the UN, ECOSOC, from the UN DESA, UNDP, and other UN branches and agencies. The UN offers national businesses opportunities to cater for the UN as well via UN procurement system. Thus, an event was already organized with Moldovan companies to promote such possibilities in Chișinău. This was already done. The Republic of Moldova also took over the ECOSOC's Commission for Population and Development in 2012, focusing on new trends in migration. And most of us are migrants here. The expertise of the UNDESA and UNFPA, as well as of other UN member states, in diaspora involvement and economic development is there. The UN has also the expertise in conflict resolution, in peacekeeping, according to international rules, not to other. We have indicated our interest in that type of development in the Republic of Moldova. We spoke clearly about the regional security matters and helped our neighbors with the political tools that are unfortunately the only tools at diplomats' disposal. For the first time in the history of the United Nations, the eastern regions of the Republic of Moldova were mentioned as an occupied territory. I'm sure you haven't heard about it, by our strategic dialogue partner. We know that the UN has extensive experience in conflict resolution. I have specifically proposed a project for the UN mediation unit in the Republic of Moldova, and I am awaiting for the governmental response. The poverty eradication, good health, clean water and sanitation, affordable clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, infrastructure, security or peace, justice, and strong institutions, as it is called now, are only several of 17 sustainable development goals that we have adopted together with other 192 nations here at the UN, with the Republic of Moldova including, in September 2015. The goals are there. The indicators to measure those goals are in the works. The implementation is expected to be done by 2030 in all UN member states, including the Republic of Moldova. Therefore, the words that any Moldovan authority has to use from now on can be encompassed in two sentences, in two phrases. Political will and, as I said, implementation. I would like to believe that if there is political will of the government, plus private initiative of the citizens, and an active involvement of the diaspora, there can be progress. These conventions can become successful with clear, visible, and tangible outcomes. I can attest from personal experience that talk about politics becomes tiring for our people on the ground, who simply do not want new political parties. They don't want new involvement of the media. They say it's fine. What we have to do is to clean up, as a matter of fact. I talked to them. Doina is sitting here. She's from the same region. My grandparents are coming from Șoldănești. I talked to these people, and they told me, we are tired. And I'm not talking about my relatives. I went from village to village, from door to door, and they told me that. And they told that to a lot of other people. They want concrete results. That's what they want. Concrete ideas and concrete diaspora projects, for example, can confirm that these are possible in the Republic of Moldova. Therefore, These conventions will be successful when each of them will end up at least with one follow-up concrete project for the Republic of Moldova. The situation is clear. The UN and our partners can help us if we prove that we could muster political will and determination to implement reforms. However, today, let's hear what diaspora can come up with in this respect. And with that, I wish you good luck in generating new ideas and concrete projects. Looking forward to a fruitful outcome of the Mach 3. All the best. Thank you. I'm here to help you if you need me. Good luck.